Yes, people, good morning, good afternoon, where are you watching from? Welcome back to AN Sports for the Premier League Game Week 8 review show. Apologies for the delay of the show. We decided to wait for the West Ham Brentford game to unfold before getting things underway. But the lads are back, Prophet's here as well. We're going to review the games and we're going to talk about the game week that happened. Big up to you guys. Hope you guys are well. Prophet, Josh, and Jack. What's going on? All good?
All good, man. All good, bro. Hope you are as well.
Class.
Yeah, I'm good. Jack and Josh, you guys all good?
Yeah. Just
At
bad.
the moment, yeah.
Yeah.
First and foremost, when you guys are on your way in, make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers. We're 28 subs now, people. 28 subs to go to 500. So, guys, channel's growing, channel's progressing. Subscribe to Prophet as well. The link will be in the description of the video. I'll put it right there. And he's got some content for you over there. If you guys want to go check his channel out, please, people. And yeah, hit the like button on your way in. I think there's only one place to start, isn't it? I mean, there's only one place. I mean, it's the biggest game of the week. Liverpool United. I mean, you've got to talk about that game. Who should we start first? Liverpool or Man United? Which should we start first?
Either way is good, bro.
I think we'll go Liverpool first. Fair enough. I mean, 4 losses in a row is more of a headline, to be fair.
I mean, what can you even say? I mean, we had an international break, so we had 2 weeks to sort out what was going on before the international break. I think a lot of people expected us to be re-energized, regrouped, and for us to kick on. And this was the perfect game to do it. What better game? What better game to get up for than Manchester United at home? But it was the total opposite. Within the first minute, we are 1-0 down. Mbeumo scores. I think it was Mbeumo, if I'm correct, right?
Mbeumo.
Yeah.
Mbeumo, yeah. I don't even think Konate had a bad game, but how are you playing the guy onside in the first minute of the game? United go 1-0 up, and you know what was going to happen then. You knew it was going to be a low block. They were going to low block it, and Liverpool against low blocks, traditionally, we don't do too well against low blocks. Yeah, it was just, again, it's just like you wait an international break. You expect the players to be better up for it. And it's just more of the same. Abject, below par performance, should I say. So yeah, first half, I think we had chances, to be fair, in the first half. We did have chances, but similarly, United also had chances as well. I think Mohamed Arshavili made some good saves. United could have had a couple more goals. We could have had a couple goals. So I think at half-time, it being 1-0 was a bit surprising because I think both teams could have had a couple more. Second half rolls around. You think, Liverpool going to be better? We come out. I'm not gonna lie. We came out pretty much the same. It wasn't really much of a change. Second half, we did get a goal late in the game, Gakpo, and you think maybe we can push on and win this now. Again, United get a set piece defensively again, just showing how bad we are. They score. They go 2-1 up in the 84th minute. And again, from there, you weren't going to come back. You know, we struggled to come back when it was 1-0. Just about dragged ourselves kicking and screaming back into the game. Go 2-1 down, it's game over then because, you know, United will be able to see that out. And again, it's 4 losses in a row, like you said there. And it's just going from bad to worse at the moment.
Fair enough. Guys, want to add anything?
Well, I think it's a bit strange. It's a bit of a strange game to analyse from a Liverpool perspective because I don't think they played badly. I just think Manchester United's performance was top. And like Prophet said, Liverpool could have scored in the first half. They could have scored a lot more than 1 goal. Let's put it that way. I think Gakpo was by far the most dangerous player. I feel Slot is using him as an outlet a lot of the time for Liverpool's counter-attacking play. I saw it especially against Galatasaray in Champions League Game Week 2. Listen, it's demoralising. I mean, losing to Manchester United for Liverpool Football Club will always be demoralising, especially at Anfield. Especially considering where the 2 clubs were going into the game. One of them being Premier League champions, the other one finishing 15th the previous year. But I feel, obviously, Manchester United are much improved, and Liverpool are the latest victims of that.
Jack? You're on mute, bro.
I think you're mute.
My mic's muted, my bad. So I agree with what Josh and Prophet have essentially voiced in terms of, like, Liverpool, they weren't crap. let's be real, in terms of on the attacking front, defensively, you can say what you want. Like the defending for Mbeumo's opener 62 seconds in was absolutely just Charlie Chaplin-esque. But like Mustafi and Socrates back in the day for Arsenal. If you know, you
Don't
know.
start.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you got bent over and lost 5-1 anyway, regardless. Like Liverpool, I'll just be honest, looking at the chances and just going back to the chances that they had, they should have won it realistically. Like there were quite a few chances from like Gakpo and Ekitike, which, hey, on another day, they find some back on that. Liverpool potentially win the match. And we're looking at a different sort of story where United are under pressure, and Liverpool and their 3-game losing streak. But hey, we're not in that sort of situation right now. We're not in that alternative reality. United took their chances. Solid defensive performance from them against a very potent Liverpool attack. As per usual, this is what they do. This is what they do, to quote Rio Ferdinand. Or sorry, this is what he does. But hey, and then Maguire the winner late on. It's bittersweet in a way. Not bittersweet, so no, that's not the right term to use. But it was a perfect cherry on the cake for United fans in terms of they're getting one up of their rivals. It's the first win for them at Anfield since that Rooney winner back in 2016. So, hey, fair play. Fair play to United. Liverpool need to fix up. Hopefully they'll do that during the Champions League this week. So, yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, look, in my opinion about Liverpool, I've been vocal about this as well, and you guys would have seen on last night's show that I mentioned about Liverpool's team. They're too attacking. You've got barely any defenders on the pitch. You've got attacking midfielders in midfield. You've got attacking fullbacks. You don't really have a wingback that plays fullback. You know what I'm trying to say? You guys don't really have that many, like, in terms of, how would you say it? You don't really have that many defensive players. Like it's not balanced. There's no real like threat going forward because everyone's passing to each other. Everyone's like, where's the creativity? That one creativity came off the bench from Chiesa, who I told you guys about. Chiesa, I rate really highly. Off the bench this season, he's been a really, really good player for Liverpool. He knew that, all right, there's competition for me now. I need to step up. I need to show these guys that I'm no a bum. I'm a player that can make a change for Liverpool. I'm a player that can that come off the bench and make a change. He's been doing that this season for you guys, and he's not getting the respect that he deserved from Slot. So I think Liverpool should have done what they could have done. They could have sold him, or they could have let him go on loan. They could have let him go on loan. They could have just said, you know what? All right, we're gonna send you on loan. Come back, and you can show us what you have left in you. He didn't even need to do anything. But this guy has come off the bench, and how many winners has he got for Liverpool? 2 winners, and a few assists off the bench. Mm-hmm. Bro, he knew that Ekitike, Isak, Gakpo, he wasn't gonna start ahead of them. This guy's come off the bench and done what he needed to do. So the disrespect he's been getting from them, I can't lie to you, I think that needs to improve big time. But yeah, like I said, you need to sign defenders. I think Liverpool need to sign defenders. Liverpool need to go more. Liverpool need to play more balanced. You need to play Gravenberch as number 6. You maybe need to give Endo more of a shot. You need to go back to the same team you played last season. I know it sounds crazy, but go back to this pretty much the similar team you played last season, because last season it was working. You were getting results. You were getting performances. Ekitike starting up front worked for you guys. Gakpo starting for you guys has worked. Gakpo, Ekitike, and Chiesa is my preferred front 3 at the moment. And I know it sounds crazy to bench Isak, but Gakpo, Ekitike, and Chiesa is a very quick and a very, very technical front 3. You can get so much out of these guys. You can get so many goals. You get so many, you can get so much creativity from Chiesa, so much from Gakpo. They can link up with Ekitike, You need to do that. You need to rotate players, and you have the squad depth to do it now. Wirtz, if he's not playing well, bench him. Just because he's signed for 100 million doesn't mean he can't be benched. He should be benched. If he's not playing well, bench him. Take the hit. If if Isak's not playing well, bench him as well. Salah's not playing well, bench him. You guys can't just play players by name. You have to play players on current form. And currently, Chiesa's been one of your best players. Gakpo's been one of your best players. You start them too. Ekitike, before the red card, has been unbelievable. You can't bench Ekitike. So you need to continue the same players. You need to continue with the players that have been on really good form. And you need to drop Gravenberch back to his usual role. Playing him further forward has exposed your midfield big time. That's what I think, at least from Liverpool. And Alisson, I don't think Alisson's a massive loss. Coming crazy, but I don't think Alisson's a massive loss. I think Mamardashvili is a very good goalkeeper already. So we can't really say Alisson's been saying Liverpool. I think defensively, you guys have been really, really good this season. You guys have been conceding goals. You've gone 2-0 up. You've gone 3-0. You've gone a goal up, and you conceded. That's on the defenders. That's not on the goalkeeper. Alisson, sure, he's made some saves, but your defense has been why he doesn't make so many saves. It's your defenders that are letting everyone else down. If you guys had a perfect defense, you're keeping a clean sheet 3-4-0 every single game, in my opinion. The Atletico Madrid game is not a 3-2 Liverpool win. That's a 3-0 Liverpool win, or 4-1 Liverpool win on another day. So, like I said, defenders, that needs to be resolved. You need to go and sign another midfielder, maybe not midfielder, but defensive midfielder. You haven't signed a defensive midfielder, and you need to sign another fullback. Because Connor Bradley, is he really it? Because he's being thrown in. He's had an impressive debut season, but last year was his debut season.
Yeah, before.
So he's been thrown into the limelight, and you got Frimpong now, who's not a right back, is a wing back. He's not a right back. He's a right wing back. So you're throwing a right wing back at right back and his backup is a young right back who's not proven. He's inexperienced. So there are decisions that Slot needs to sort out and fix, and I think he should be able to do it. I think he's a good coach. People are saying Slot out. Need to relax. This guy just won in the Premier League, and I know it's with Klopp's squad. But look at the players he got the best out of. You didn't expect him to get the best out of Gravenberch, did you? You thought Gravenberch was not that great. You didn't sign a defensive midfielder. You hardly spent money. You signed Chiesa. Look at what he's done. Look at what Slot done last season. You know. So people saying Slot out need to relax. They need to relax. They need to give him the end till the end of the season, because he's got the team now. He can easily turn this around. The players you have, the personnel you have, the players that you should be able to turn Liverpool around are good enough to get you back challenging for the Premier League again. Liverpool, for me, are not out of the race. People saying Liverpool are outside of the race? No. You're still within touching distance of Arsenal. Not within touching distance, excuse me, but you're within like 4 points of Arsenal. That's not much. That's not much. You can have a bad start, but it's about how you finish. If you guys finish near Arsenal or above Arsenal or above Man City, then all of a sudden the talk about Liverpool being bad has just gone down the drain. So like I said, results need to pick up. You need to pick up results starting from Frankfurt tomorrow night, and in the weekend, who do you play against? Weekend Brentford, don't you? You play Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford away. It's not going to be an easy game. Not going to be an easy game. They've been good this season. They've been good. I thought Brentford would get relegated. I'll be real. I thought Brentford was
the same.
I thought Brentford would get relegated because they lost so many of their good players. You know, they lost the keeper. They lost Wissa and Buemo. They lost who they lost? Norgard to Arsenal. Yep. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you guys. So like I said, just go and get these two results. If you pick up 6 points, well, not 6 points. If you pick up 2 wins out of the next 2 games, all of a sudden people will be like, "Oh wow, Liverpool coming back." Because people like to flip flop, you know. People will say one moment Liverpool is washed, Liverpool is dusted, but then the next minute they'll say, "Oh wow, Liverpool back. They've won 2 games in a row now. They've got a good fixture run." So the narratives change. The narratives turn. You know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on Liverpool. But anyone else want to add anything before we move on to Man United side?
Well,
cool.
I just wanted to say one thing regarding the actual goals in the game. I think Liverpool can feel aggrieved to an extent, thanks for the first goal. I know it was Van Dijk who injured McAllister, but at the end of the day, it is a head injury. By the laws of the game, Michael Oliver should have stopped play there and then. Having said that, based on the two performances of the sides, I didn't think Liverpool played badly, but I feel Manchester United's performance merited all 3 points. I think they did deserve all 3 points in the end. I think they defended resolutely. I think they, especially in the first half, played very well, which we'll get onto soon, I'm sure. And overall, Liverpool need to take more of their chances. I think they've only scored 1 goal in the previous, in 3 out of their last 4 games. You know, in a 2-1 loss to Palace, Chelsea, and now United. They need to start putting their chances away as well. There seems to be a lot of problems with Liverpool at the minute. But Slot's won the Premier League title, as you said, Akavin. If there's anyone that can get him out of this, if there's anyone that can get Liverpool out of this mess, it's Slot. So.
100%. Arne Slot's a good manager. I don't see the hate for Arne Slot. I don't see why people say, "Oh, Arne Slot's washed." No, he's not. He's just not. He's just had a rough patch. Every manager goes through a rough patch. You know what I'm trying to say? It's a sign of champions. Like I said, every single Premier League champion or every single champion of any other sport will have to go through a rough period in the second season trying to defend their title. That's always the road when you're trying to defend the title. There's always gonna be bumps in the road. There's always gonna be, issues ahead. But like I said, there's always warning signs. But then if you overcome that, that's fine. Because as a United fan, I've seen us win titles. I've seen us drop points when we're supposed to win. But it's about overcoming that. It's about having to get through that hurdle. Because I've seen Premier League title races. We used to win clutch games. You have to go to games and be clutch. You don't have to be amazing. You can just be clutch. So I can go back to 2011. One game. We won 1-0, 10 men. Berbatov scored the winner. It was against Bolton Wanderers at home. Johnny Evans got sent off that game. We had to grind it out. We were missing chance after chance after chance. We had to grind it out. Berbatov had to get a winner. So like I said, it's about trying to grind your way through games when you need to. And Liverpool have been doing that. But now when the going gets tough, when performances are low, where's your clinicality? You're not being clinical, and you're just wasting chances easily. You're just wasting easy chances. Players becoming selfish. There's no team play. The manager needs to sort it out. And you know what? If I was a Liverpool fan, I would trust this guy. I wouldn't call it. I wouldn't call for his head now. I wouldn't be. I would just give it until the end of the season and see where you are, because I know you spend a lot of money, but it's about where you guys are at the end of the season. You know what I'm trying to say, rather than looking at, oh wow, we're in a crisis now, but we're 4 points off the top. Nah, that's too early to call it a crisis. Being 4 points off the top is too early to call it a crisis. You're always going to have a rough period in the Premier League. Yes, you have 3 losses in a row, but that happens. That happened to Man City. That happened to Arsenal. That happened to Liverpool. That happened to every other team that's challenged in the Premier League. Even United had these issues at the start. But it's about overcoming that and trying to win it. You know what I'm trying to say? Trying to battle through the tough times.
I think the main reason that people are out, a lot of our fans are annoyed, is because obviously, like you said, a lot of money spent into a lot of talent bought in. I think we're expected to win the league again. If we don't win the league again, I think I'm not going to lie, it doesn't look great. Also, another thing is the style of play at the moment. Yeah, the style of play doesn't look great either. We went from playing heavy metal, Klopp attacking football to kind of playing this slow, side-to-side, boring. I'm not going to say possession-based football, because it's not really possession-based football, but it's just not the same. Watching Liverpool games, you don't feel that same excitement that I used to, which I think a lot of other fans are feeling that as well.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel Gravenberch is a big problem in terms of not performing the same role he did last season. I feel that applies way too much pressure on Liverpool's back four. And when your back four consists of Kirkes, who's only focused on bombing forward, I know Van Dijk is still a class defender, but at the end of the day, he is ageing alongside Konate. And obviously, Conor Bradley, listen, he stepped into the Liverpool first team and he's been immense for the last 2 years. But at the end of the day, he's not as experienced as the other people in his back line. It's only going to cause more problems than it is solutions. So I think Slot needs to revise his tactics quickly. And I'll refer back to what Jamie Carragher said, as I did last stream. He needs to revert back to his team from last season. He really needs to now. because they're in serious danger of letting the Premier League crown slip away from their grasp.
Fair enough. But going on to United though, I thought we played very, very well. I was very happy with the performance. I was very happy with the way, the way we started. Going into Anfield, I never thought Man United would be scoring in the first minute. That was not on my record book. That was not on my memo. Like, I did not expect Man United to score like the first minute and 2 seconds. Like, that was not what I expected at all. But listen, it was great that we got the first goal, because whoever got the first goal would have had the game, in my opinion. We scored the first goal, that changed the game for us. If you guys would have got the first goal, our heads would have dropped and we'd have been slapped 3-4-0, because that's typical Man United. We always, whenever we can see the first goal, we go and lose the game. This season, whenever Man United have scored the first goal, we've either won or we've drawn a game. One draw, and we've won every single game since we scored first. And big up to the lads for grinding it out, because, like I said, when it was 1-1, I was like, oh shit, now what do I do? Do I take the draw, or do we just try and go for the win and just risk it all? We had to fight for that goal, and we did that very, very well. When Mbeumo took that shot, I was about to celebrate. I thought it was going in when that Mbeumo took the shot. I thought it was going in because of the camera angle. I thought the shot was going to deflect into the goal, but then it went back to Bruno Fernandes, and then Bruno Fernandes just put a great ball into Maguire. Maguire scored the winner. Look, at the end of the day, I'm happy. That's what I want from my team. I've always wanted this from my team. People call me negative. People want to say this and that. I just want the best for my football club. And when you win games like this, you need to hope your team pushes on now. Because if we go and drop points to Brighton, all of this is irrelevant now. It's gonna hurt us now, because you've just beaten Liverpool, the Premier League champions, at their own patch. After 20 games, they haven't lost for like 20 games. You go and win that game. All of a sudden now, your head should be looking at. Your head should be looking at the Premier League table, be like, all right, we need to go win games now. We're not so many points off the top. We're not so many points off Liverpool. Not so many points off Arsenal. Not so many points off City. This is the time to push on now and get more points on the board. Starting at Brighton at home this week, we need to go beat Brighton at home this week. We have to. We have to end the Brighton curse. We haven't beaten Brighton in 3 games at home, and it's sad, but we have to go and beat Brighton at home, and we haven't done that for a few games now. Since Ronaldo was here, we haven't won at home to Brighton. So yeah, like I said, go beat Brighton at home, and just continue this form. I mean, 2 wins in 2 games. I'm happy. That's the first time we've won back-to-back games with this manager, and I've called him out because he hasn't done that, and I wanted him sacked. But look, if he can get me a run of results until the end of the season, get me in and try and win me a trophy, the FA Cup, I will take it. And I'll be like, do you know what? Fair play. You can stay another season if you win me the. You only have to win me a trophy as to stay. You can't just get top 4 and be like, oh, I sorted. No, I need something along with it. I need silverware with it. But yeah, I mean, like I said, good performance overall. Women were perfect. I thought Cunha was amazing. I thought Cunha was brilliant. GA is not relevant in this game. It's not relevant. Cunha was amazing. And who else was really good? I thought Luke Shaw was brilliant. I thought Maguire was brilliant. Euro, when he came off the bench, was brilliant. Mainu, Ugarte, when they came off the bench, they tried to balance the game. And yeah, look, like I said, 3 points I'll take that. We go to Brighton at home now, and we just wait and see what happens there.
I don't want to rain on the United parade here, but how typical would it be for them to now go and drop points against Brighton?
And drop points against Brighton. I know.
Very typical.
Oh, I know. No, trust me. I can tell, bro. I can tell. And also, yes, possible big up to you, man. Saint Lamens, brilliant performance by him. He played really, really well once again. The saves that he had to make. I honestly, the way he had to lean back and catch that ball as well. Like, fair play to him. And he has had 2 good performances now. Hopefully, he keeps that up. Hopefully, we go on. He plays well against Brighton. But yeah, like I said, for the rest of the team, there are certain players that I think need to play. I thought Bruno Fernandes had a poor game. Call me crazy, but I think he had a poor game in terms of his first touch wasn't amazing. His first touch wasn't brilliant because there was times where where his first touch let us down and kept losing the ball. Dalot was poor. I thought Amo was really good. I thought Sesko, when he came on, he gave the ball away a few times. But Sesko wasn't brought on to score a goal. He was brought on to waste time. Help waste time, hold the ball up, and yeah, just see where it takes us, I guess. But look, I'm not really gonna. I don't want to criticize any player right now. We just got 3 points, and like I said, that's just what I have to say. Anyone want to add anything with United?
Well, I personally disagree with you with the Bruno Fernandes assessment. I think that was an exemplary captain's performance from him. I don't know if Prophet and Jack agree with me, but I thought Bruno Fernandes was another one of United's standout players. I mean, the entire team was standout, but it was still a fantastic performance from him. And that assist for Maguire at the end, absolutely fantastic. So, respectfully disagree with you, Akavin, there. I think every one of your players were fantastic. If anything, I thought Diallo was probably the worst out of a good bunch, and he still played well.
I thought Dalot was poor. Diogo Dalot was poor, though. I don't think he had a great game. I think there was times where he could have, I thought there was time where he could have just, he could have made a few tackles. Like he did that, to be fair, but it wasn't amazing. He let players in behind too easily at the same time. So I thought Dalot was the worst player on the pitch. I think he's been poor for United recently. He should be one of the first players out the door. Yeah, I agree. He wasn't amazing, Bruno Fernandes. I thought his first touch let us down. His first touch really let us down in certain parts because obviously he gave the ball away a few times. But listen, I can't really complain. 3 points at Anfield after 10 years almost, and we move on to Brighton at home, and we shall see what happens there. But anyways, I don't want to comment anything more before I move on to the next game.
Got anything to say, Jack?
I mean, I agree with your point only in terms of like Liverpool should sign like another defensive midfielder because obviously we got Endo on the bench, but he's like 32, and so he was a bit of a stopgap, if you will, to sort of say cover if say Klavenberg got injured or just essentially make up. I don't want to say make up the numbers because he's a class defensive midfielder. And last season and the season before when he was playing, like he was solid. But like I can't think of too many midfielders who are on the market. I mean, like realistically, they could go in for Luca Agume, who's currently at Sevilla. I know he's been linked with like Arsenal and Manchester United in the past.
Yep.
The former Social Montpellier and Inter Milan defense midfielder. And like they could go in for him realistically in terms of like a good defense midfielder because he's like 22, 23 or so. So he'd cover their midfield for the best part of 8 or 9 years, maybe even a decade. And also I just want to address that for that Boss of Blue comment. It's not a fraud. Cool. He spent 500 million or so, and say if he doesn't win the league, If that doesn't happen this season, he is not a fraud because who do we have down in N5 in North London who spent about twice the amount of it as him, and what has he got to show? One solitary COVID FA Cup with Emery's squad, and in addition, Slot won the Eredivisie with Feyenoord about 3 or 4 years ago now. Hey, he's got a pedigree. Okay, you could say, oh, it's Eredivisie, and like, apart from PSV Eindhoven, Ajax, AZ Alkmaar, those sort of teams, like, who's realistically competing for the league? Like, you're not going to see Go Ahead Eagles or whatnot, or like Heracles or Waalwijk, although I think Waalwijk might actually be Belgian. Anyway, regardless, like, Slot showing that he has a pedigree. He's got to a cup final last year. Okay, lost it to Newcastle, but like he's a good manager. I don't understand the sort of slander level at him. Okay, say his system's not working well this season and he needs to revert back to last season's system, as Prophet has said, as Josh has said. and Ackerman as well. Like, come on, give him time. We're 8 games into the league season. Like,
Yeah.
it's all to play for. You're 4 points behind Arsenal. You're 3 points behind Manchester City. Who gives two
1 point.
shits? Who really 1 point behind City? My bad. Who realistically gives a shit? If say we get to the end of the season, Liverpool, I don't know, they finish second, 2 points behind Arsenal, something like that. Hey, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's not like finishing 10th. It's not like finishing 15th and almost getting relegated, but somehow winning the Europa League final, or finishing 10th and that's like the season after you won the league.
Jack is an Arsenal fan, Ashaba.
I'm an Arsenal fan. No. I'm just looking at this from a neutral sort of aspect. I can give a damn if people want to sort of disagree with me or try and think I'm a Scouse Red fan. Like, I'll just be honest. And also, like, we talk about him just putting attackers on the pitch. Like, this is sort of problem. He's got the squad depth, but when you're playing Szoboszlai, who isn't an out-and-out fullback, when you're playing Frimpong, as people have reiterated, isn't an out-and-out fullback. He's a right wing back, and whatnot. As he's shown up by Leverkusen, as he's shown previously at Celtic and whatnot. Like, it's a big problem. It's a big problem. And honestly, if you wanted to, I'd say putting Joe Gomez at right back would actually be a shout. I mean, I know that he hasn't played at right back for a solid amount of time. I believe like the last proper time he was playing at fullback was in the early sort of Klopp days, because I think in 15-16 he was deployed as left back when Alberto Moreno was putting up stinkers as per usual. But that'd definitely be a shout. Because if Bradley gets injured, if Szoboszlai gets injured, and I remember when Trent was injured, I think it was Tsimikas against Arsenal 2 seasons ago. Gomez was subbed on to play at left back. So, hey, that could be a shout. That could be a shout for Slot if he wants to shore up his defence. Yeah.
I feel, adding on to your point about Slot, I mean, they were a penalty shootout away from knocking out the eventual European champions. They would have played Villa in the quarters and Arsenal in the semis. So chances are they would have made their way into the final, where they would have played Inter. And we know how badly Inter performed in that final. Listeners, fine margins. And Jack, I think you also raised a good point there in terms of you said something about Slot not trusting certain players, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did you say something like that?
I didn't say about not trusting players. That's what I didn't say. No.
No, you made a good point that I was going to agree with and elaborate on, but I've forgotten. So we'll quickly move on.
You can watch.
We'll agree to disagree.
You can watch it back. You can watch it back.
Yeah.
Jack, I think he's asking you which Liga team you support.
Ligue 1, Lyon. Lyon, my Ligue 1 team, but like Nîmes, so like I don't want to say non-league team in a way because they're more so like a Ligue 2, so like lower half of Ligue 1 sort of team, but they're currently in Championnat National 2, and I think they're like second or third because they were relegated because they didn't get a like pro license. I think it was for the the Championnat National, or what is now like Ligue 3. But yeah, just want to say that. Yeah.
But in the last 4 games, have you seen any improvement? The first loss to the last loss, has there's been too much change in the team. New goalkeepers to start, backline, and sure, that's a good point. I think they're boss of blue. Prophet, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think he's spot on there. Obviously, with Alisson out injured, Mamardashvili has to play. What did the comment say again, Bo? Else, if you
sorry, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. Yeah, too much change as well. There is the players that we brought in, the 5 players that we brought in, they're not all starting now, but I'd assume when everyone's fit, when everyone's firing, the players that we brought in will all be starters. So yeah, there has been a lot of change, and like I think the panel said there, we do need to go back to basics. Go back to a 4-2-3, in my opinion, like we were playing last year. Ditch the 4-2-3 one because I don't think it's working for us at the moment. And yeah, go back to the players we played last year. You know, it's harsh, obviously, for the money we paid for these players. You need to really be playing them, and it's not a great look when they're sat on the bench. But if they're not performing, you know, go back to the players that won us the league last year, and you know, bench the new talent.
100%. New fullbacks, the centre backs who can't trust, new midfielders and new attackers. Yeah, that's true. I bloody despise Bruno when he gets things like that. Then we go from argument that that's the Bruno we used to know, and now he's just moments. Yeah, I hear that. Plus, the guy's playing words everywhere but 10, and Isak needs that service. Another good point there. He should play the old midfield with Hugo Ekitike up front, or play words in the 10 with Isak up top. Want to answer this one, Joel?
He should play the old midfield. Hugo Ekitike. I'd play Hugo off the left personally. I would put Hugo off the left. I think Isak, the comment says there, well, the comment before, he's not getting service, and I feel if we do start Chiesa, if we do start Ekitike off the left, if we do maybe give Frimpong a chance because he hasn't really been given a chance yet, I feel just throw him in, try something new at this point. I feel he could get better service, I'll be totally honest. So I'd stick with Isak up top, yeah. I wouldn't play them both up top though, I'll be totally honest. I know a lot of people want that to happen, but I wouldn't really play them both up top. I think leave one on the bench if we need, if it comes to it, if we're in a bit of trouble, we need a goal or we need something new. You can always bring Isak or Ekitike on off the bench, but I wouldn't play them both at the same time. I think it's either one or the other for me.
Big up Brandon, man. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you. Neems was in Liga for 3 seasons.
Yeah. In like 2019-20, 2021, 2018-19, I think it was, and then got relegated in 2021, and then like 2023 got relegated from Ligue 2. So yeah.
Some fullbacks, but let Gravenberch play holding. It's the same fullback, let Gravenberch play holding. That's a good point. And that's a good point. I think he should play Gravenberch in the holding midfielder. That's what I've been saying as well. I think Gravenberch needs to play in that holding midfield role, like I mentioned. Because you're playing him too far forward. Like it leaves your midfield to expose. Who's gonna do the defensive work that Gravenberch has done? You know what I mean? You can't clean up a mess from a player that's not suited to that role with a player who's suited to the role, but is being played in a different position. You know what I'm trying to say? Nyamoha and Chiesa deserve more minutes. I agree with the Chiesa one. Chiesa deserve more 100%. How about you don't play Isak? You play. You bought Ekitike. Slot doesn't know what he has. But me see his rival Ekitike's skill. He's in a winger. Stop the count. Ekitike's a striker. He's bloody good. I don't know him. Ekitike can play off the left. To be fair,
Obviously he's naturally a striker, but he can play off the wing as well.
Yeah, he's got enough pace and he's got the skills as a winger. But finishing though, the thing is the finishing. Isak should only come into the team. You know what I'm trying to say? So you need to give him more minutes in the left wing role as well, or striker role. Play one of the others, not Isak, or you can take off the left. The natural number 9s for big money. Don't compromise on team technicality or chemistry to try to play all the guys at the same time. That's a good point. That's a really good point. It's crazy to me. Oh, never mind.
That comment from Random Monday, I do disagree with it. Where he said he didn't want Isak for Ekitike. I think it's the one after that, brother.
Oh, the one after that? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree with this comment here because obviously we let Darwin Núñez go, so we need to replace Darwin Núñez naturally. Of course, obviously, certain circumstances we lost Jota as well. So we needed a striker because if we'd only bought Ekitike, but Jota things that would have happened, we would have been a striker short. So I still think we needed 2 strikers at the end of the day. I think had the Jota thing not happened, maybe then we don't need Isak, but because the Jota thing happened, I think we needed to bring in Isak. Maybe not to start, but we needed 2 strikers there as options, like we had last year with Jota and Núñez.
And it's lots post press conference. I was so confused. He said he loves the XG, complained about the low block when Liverpool played backwards, giving us a chance to perform the back.
I don't think he complains.
Slot's I didn't agree with what Slot came out with after the game. I think he was talking BS, to be fair. Absolute BS.
Ekitike and Isak play 4-4-2 would work. There's a good chance. And again, why would you? But then again, Frimpong is a wing back, and Kirk is a left back, isn't he? Or is it a left? It can be a left wing back. One of them two. You replaced Nunes with Ekitike. Ekitike is an improvement on Nunes. Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
also the playmaker was changed from a right back to a cam.
Yeah, with Trent leaving.
We already had Ekitike 130 million for a dude who was out of his berth when we bought a guy for 73 million who scored his first 2 matches and 5 goals in 8 matches up until now. We had the answer to Nunes' departure already.
Yeah, but say hypothetically, obviously, Touchwood, say Ekitike picked up a knock, who's going to play striker? You know what I mean? There'd have been no one there to cover for him, so we did need another one. Gakpo, he can, but he's not naturally a striker, if you know what I mean. He could cover there, but I wouldn't really want to play him there.
Kirk has been the worst signing so far. Do you think so? Do you think he's been the worst signing?
He's gone from being the best left back in the league probably last season to being unrecognizable this year.
Ekitike has the pace, yes. His build and flair reminds me of Henry, but I still wouldn't play him on the left wing. He's a natural striker. Wirtz hasn't done too bad, but it's the GA that isn't there. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Fair enough. Don't get me started on Kirk. I'm smiling at man's face all game. Gakpo's one-dimensional. Do you think that? Do you think Gakpo's very one-dimensional?
No, I'm not sure about one-dimensional. I just feel he's very unpredictable. You know, he does the same stuff over and over again. I feel he needs to be a little bit more unpredictable. Which is why I maintain that we missed Luis Diaz this season because, you know, Diaz, his work rate was really good. He was also very unpredictable as well going forward. Didn't really know what he was going to do. I feel with Gakpo, you know what he's going to do. He does the same stuff over and over again. He's a bit too repetitive. So, yeah, I agree. He probably is one-dimensional. So he probably does need to be a little bit more unpredictable. Add that to his game.
Kirk's overlaps when Gakpo really passes to him. Yeah, fair enough. But anyways, I think we'll move on to the next game now. I think we'll go to Fulham Arsenal. Josh and Jack, take it away.
Jack, do you want to start? Right, I'll start. Basically, big 3 points at a stadium we've struggled in recent years. We've made a habit of that this season so far. You know, we've talked a lot about our record at St. James's Park, our struggles at home to West Ham, our struggles at home to Olympiacos. We've won all 3 of those games and we've also won at Craven Cottage thanks to another set piece. Do I think it's sustainable over the next however many games there are, 30 games? No. We need to start scoring more from open play. I said yesterday evening against West Ham, which we dominated and didn't give them a sniff. We still needed a set piece to put the game beyond them. It's not looking too good in terms of open play, shot conversion. But at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, and we're currently 3 points clear. I know it's only October. I know 8 games have been played, so about 21% of the season has gone already. But listen, you can't look into the table until it's January time, because that's when it starts to take shape, in my opinion. Having said that, being 3 points clear already is a very promising start. It should be more. If Arteta had a bit more bollocks in his team selection away at Anfield and at home to City, I think we'd be a lot more than 3 points clear. But naturally, Mourinho had to start instead. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we hardly gave. I mean, Fulham had a few half chances, but apart from that, we were solid defensively again. I think this is our best season in terms of this is our best start to a league season in our history defensively. I think people are talking about how if we keep up this current rate of clean sheets, we conceded 3 goals in 8 games so far. If we continue that over the course of the season, we'd concede 14 goals, which would be a Premier League record, would be an English football record. I think Chelsea 04-05 at this point after 8 games only conceded once, and that was a freak James Beattie goal after 1 minute, which shows how high the standards are. And no, we're not going to break it. It's good to dream, but we're not going to break it because that record, I think, is just impossible to beat. But enough of the negativity. Obviously, we have Atletico Madrid tonight, which won't be an easy game, but we prepared very well with a dominant victory at Craven Cottage. And big up to Bukayo Saka as well. Absolutely fantastic performance. Goes under the radar a lot. Prophet, I know you were talking about how Gakpo is very predictable. Saka is very, very predictable as well. But I feel Saka is such a good player, and with the addition of Gyökeres occupying the centre backs, he can be more effective than he has been recently, and he's still been very effective. I think Gakpo has the potential to do that as well for Liverpool. But anyway, fantastic win, fantastic 3 points, solid performances all round. Rijkaard have had a cigar on the go. I don't think we didn't concede a shot on target either. First time we haven't done that 2 games in a row since 03-04, and we know what happened then. So hopefully that's a good omen. But I'll pass it on to Jack.
Wow. We ended our hoodoo at Craven Cottage after 2 games in a row, drawing since Stash losing. Jesus Christ. Anyway, it was a solid performance from us. I mean, as Josh alluded to, as the first time that Fulham failed to get a shot on target against Arsenal since 03-04. Hey, I'm vibing. Like flipping Fulham, they were looking dangerous in the first half. I think I reiterated this.
Good point.
The other day. I can't remember when it was, but like, hey, like Fulham are a solid team. Marco Silva, absolutely class coach. I mean, he's out of contract in the summer, and I remember that before there's all this news about Sean Dyche becoming Nottingham Forest manager, he was also like one of the candidates alongside Roberto Mancini. And I remember when like he was Watford manager back in like 17-18, and then he got sacked, went to Everton, all that sort of jazz, and there's all that sort of talk about him being a bit of a crappy manager, but nah, like ever since he got Fulham promoted in 21-22, like he's built a solid team, and hey, like we got 3 points. We're 3 points clear. I'll take it as it is for now, but we need to sort of fix up, as Josh has said, in terms of like strong from open play. It's not sustainable to just rely on corners or just like own goals and whatnot. You need to take chances outside the box, take the game by the scruff of the neck. Like Eza, we brought him in. His passing range, shooting range, it's class. But hey, when you got players like Martinelli whose usual sort of stuff is to just dribble, do this sort of stuff, not look up, and then put the ball out of play when we're trying to score the win in like the 85th minute, and that's who we're sort of relying on. I know that he didn't have a stinker, but hey, we got 3 points. And yeah, that's all I can sort of say. And actually, no, it's not all I want to say, to be fair. But yeah, we just need to sort of keep playing the way we are, create more chances from open play, and Gyökeres needs to start getting on the score sheet soon, because he's a class player. He was a class player last season, but hey, he's not getting service. He's only had 8 shots on target, I think, in a Prem this season. And okay, three goals have been scored from him, but we're getting to 11 sort of matches, competitive matches for Arsenal. He needs to get on the score sheet tonight against Atleti if he wants to start like just getting his confidence back, because that's a big thing. Like when he was obviously playing for Sporting, his like stats for them were absolutely class. I think it was like 101 in like 104 matches along the lines of that. Like he's a good player. And he's got all the attributes to be a solid top Premier League player realistically. But it's all about the confidence right now. Like once he gets a brace next weekend, hey, he'll be firing and raring to go, and like that's what you need. That's what you need, and you don't. It's not. I wouldn't say it's a fine margins as Josh and I were complaining about during the Fulham match, but yeah.
Fair enough. I agree with your point there, Jack. With Gyökeres, I feel he wouldn't have played as much if Havertz was fit. For example, at Anfield, I think Havertz would have started. At home to Man City, I think Havertz would have started. Away at St James's Park, I think Havertz would have started. Not that I wanted him to, not that I would have wanted him to, but I think he would have done. And in terms of the injury discussion, I feel we played Fulham at a good time as far as injuries are concerned. I know we've got Captain Erdegaard out. I know we've got Havertz out. I know we've got Jesus out. Hincapi wasn't back yet. I think Ben White's still suffering niggles. But I think Fulham had their 2 first-choice fullbacks out, Robinson and what's his name, Kenny Tete. They also had Lukic out, and I think they had Munoz out, who was a very deadly option off the bench. So I think we have played them at a good time. I don't think they were able to utilise their game plan to the best of their ability, thanks to the injuries that they had. And listen, at the end of the day, if you don't get a shot on target, if you don't buy your ticket, you're never going to win anything. So that's why Fulham can break down the Arsenal defence. When they had few opportunities to shoot, they didn't even hit the target. So from a Fulham perspective, having lost 3 games in a row now, they really need to start improving. I know it's early days. And Jacques, you said Marco Silva has he's built a solid team since their promotion in 2022. But being 3 points off relegation, no matter when in the season, it's going to look a bit dodgy as far as Fulham are concerned. Because like you said, I think Marco Silva is a good manager. He's built a solid foundation with Fulham. They're a solid mid-table Premier League side. That makes life very, very uneasy at Craven Cottage. As Manchester United have seen earlier, as Arsenal have felt, as other teams, the so-called Big Six teams will feel. But yeah, I think we did play them at a good time. And it's great to have the 3 points, I suppose. Hopefully we'll build on from this, starting tonight. Well, continuing tonight. And then against Crystal Palace. And then against Brighton in the Carabao Cup. Then against Sunderland away. Or no, Burnley away. Which won't be as easy as people may think. Because it's the Premier League. But I digress. I don't know if any of you guys wanted anything to add to that, but that's my thoughts.
I think, again, Arsenal they got the job done again. It wasn't pretty. I think a lot of you two will agree as well. It wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. And yeah, they're winning games at the moment. And I like the comments just said there. I disagree as well with the people saying Arsenal haven't been good. I think they look much improved from last season. They look like they're back. They look like they got they got something about them a bit. And they're grinding out wins. I know a lot of people are saying, they only score from set pieces. Arteta's this, Arteta's that. At the end of the day, they're winning games and they're top of the league right now. Table doesn't lie. And I'd say currently, as of right now, I would probably say Arsenal are favourites to win the league. As of right now, of course. The only thing that I feel don't know what happened there. The only thing that I feel could maybe cost Arsenal here is obviously the manager, like you said, a little bit too negative at times against City at home, against us at Anfield. I feel if it comes down to it, if say Arsenal, for example, have to go to the Etihad and win, would you trust Arteta to want to go to try and win the game, or would you think? Of course not. Exactly, that's the thing there. So I feel Arsenal have the talent 100% to win the league, but I feel the manager again could end up costing them.
The thing is with Arsenal is like you when you need to go for it, you don't go for it. It's like when you played at home to Man City, you guys settled for the draw, and I question. You're at home in front of your own fans. Yes, Man City scored early. Yes, it's trying to sit back. But come on, surely you have enough to create. You surely have enough to create chances. You know what I'm trying to say? You surely have enough to get over the line because you have Gyökeres, you have Eze, you have creative players there. And at Anfield, does this now make you guys regret that you didn't go for it now? Because United
Akron, I feel come May, those dropped points at Anfield and at home to City will prove fatal.
Will hurt you.
I said at the beginning of the season, I think Man City will win the league. I think with Slot getting his own team, albeit he has spent a lot of money, I think it will take a bit of time to adapt. And I know he spent a lot, so he shouldn't. But At the end of the day, it's not going to be easy. And I feel we're never going to win anything under this manager. Hence why I believed Manchester City would win it this year. And at the end of the day, it reinforces my point when you play for a 0-0 up until... I mean, he played for a draw up until the 70th minute at Anfield when he brought Eze and Ødegaard on. I guarantee you, he tried to do the same thing at home to City. Keep it locked up at 0-0 in the 70th minute, then bring on the game changers like Eze and Saka. But Haaland made it 1-0 after 9 minutes. The game plan was completely out of the window. He had to bring an injured Saka and Eze on early. And I don't care that he learned his mistakes at St James's Park, because I guarantee you, if we're still in the title fight come April, and we travel up to the Etihad, which I think the fixtures are, he's not going to go there to win the game. He's not going to go there to win the game. It's going to be March 2024 all over again, where we stinkfest 0-0. Like, no matter what the context is, he's going to set up not to lose rather than to win. And I can understand why you do it at the Etihad. I can understand why you do it at Anfield. But at the end of the day, when you've got the squad that we have, when you've got the talent at your disposal that we have, you've got to go and try and win those games. We haven't won at the Etihad in 10 years. We haven't won at Anfield in the league since 2012. That was 13 years ago. 13. I just started junior school then. Seriously. And we haven't won there since in the league. It's pathetic. And it's never going to change as long as you're setting up with fine margins to try and salvage a draw at these tough away grounds.
I remember Podolski scoring for Arsenal at the
Cazorla and Podolski, first goals. Yeah.
Podolski and Sandy Cazorla. I remember that game, and yeah, that was like 2012 since you last won at the Anfield. You won both games at Anfield in 2012. You won 2-1 Van Persie late winner, and then you won at the at Anfield again next season. But then ever since then, you've not won a game there. You've either gone there and lost every season, or you managed to get a draw, but it wasn't enough.
We've either been slapped up or we've been lucky to come away with a point.
You were up 3-2 in 2016, and then you had a last...
Yeah, I know. We were 2-1 up in 2014, conceded in the 98th minute. We were 3-2 up in 2016, January 2016, conceded in the 90th minute. But at the end of the day, and obviously April 2023, I won't recount those events again. But yeah, like, Arteta goes to the Etihad and to Anfield with the fear factor. Like, he plays the club rather than the game, if you know what I mean. He's playing against Liverpool Football Club. He's setting up to play against Liverpool Football Club rather than the current iteration of the Liverpool team. Same with Manchester City, which is why I think it will hinder our ability to win the league, and I think that's why he's never going to get over the line with us. And Boss of Blue, you said in the chat earlier, you're happy with Arteta now. I want him gone.
Wasn't it Crystal Palace that won at Anfield that stopped you guys from winning the league? Was it 1-0 that they won? Was it Palace or was it it was Palace, wasn't it?
It was Palace, yeah.
It was 2024.
No, yeah, Cups last year, yeah.
It was Palace, yeah.
Palace.
Yeah, twisted fate. I understand what you mean, but when you're trying to go for the league.
Yeah.
So, when you're trying to go for the league, you need to go for the win at Anfield and at the Etihad.
I think
costing points at Anfield has hurt us in recent years. So.
I think you can take a point away against your title rivals. I think you can take a point at the Etihad and you can take a point at Anfield from a neutral perspective. But I think at home against these teams, you've got to be going for it. And just like you said there, I think the manager's a problem for Arsenal. You know, home and away against title rivals, he sets up to a draw, which is okay. I suppose if you win all your other games and you take draws there, you will win the league. But again, are Arsenal going to win them other games too? That's questionable. So, yeah, I think you can take a draw against title rivals away, but I think at home, you got to be trying to beat them.
Yeah, Prophet, I 100% agree. But one thing I will say is 23-24, we beat Liverpool and Man City at home, drew with them away, and we still didn't win it because of the games against Burnley and West Ham and Aston Villa. So, Listen, well, I mean, it sounds very obvious, but you just need to go into every game with the intent to win it, whether it's home or away, no matter how on top form the other team is. You need to go for it, because at the end of the day, bravery is key to getting over the line. I think Brian Clough said it best. You need to be a bit daft. You need to be a bit ballsy in order to win the championship, in order to win the league, which is why Brian Clough would have preferred to win the league title rather than the European Cup. But yeah, I just feel like those games at Anfield and at home to Man City will prove fatal come May. It will prove fatal. And I would not be surprised if we four-peated second place. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't.
Good point. It all depends on the manager. It all depends on the manager. Like you said, we used to go to, what was it? We used to go to Stamford Bridge and get a result when we had to go win the league. This was our year in 2012-13. Yeah, we went to City, got a win. They had just won the Premier League. Went to City, got a win. Went to Chelsea, got 3 points. Went to Anfield, got 3 points. We drew away to Spurs, last minute equalizer from Clint Dempsey. Obviously, when we drew Arsenal, that was the day we had already won the Prem. So, like I said, when you want to win the Premier League, you need to go to your rivals and you need to go to your title rivals and show that you guys can compete. Because I can tell you this firsthand, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen Man United do it with my own eyes. So listen, you guys, you have to do the same. If you want to win the league, you have to go to Spurs and win. You have to go to Chelsea, get 3 points. You have to go to Etihad and get something, because it's been too long since you guys won the Etihad. Last year you could have won, but then again, a mistake, and then you guys conceded the goal. This past year, this season when you played City at home, that was the game where you needed to win. That was a game we need to win. It's always fine margins. You guys always lose games you need to win. And like I said, Arteta has results. He can get you results, but when the going gets tough, when you need it most, you don't get it for some reason. And is it because of mentality? Is it because you crumble under pressure? Is it because the manager's not he's scared? This is not the mentality to go in when you want to win the league, especially when you've led the league for a majority of the season. You know what I'm trying to say? That's just my opinion on Arsenal. And I think the 1-0 win against Fulham is a prime example. You guys sat deep, and just won and just tried to counter them. It wasn't really much attacking intent. It was just like you score off corner and like what we do. That's it. You know what I'm trying to say?
I respectfully disagree with that. I think we were more attacking than Fulham for the most part, but I do understand what you mean, Akevin. I mean, we do sit back a lot. I feel we won at Old Trafford due to a set piece. We scored 3 set piece goals against Leeds at home. We scored a set piece goal or 2 against Forest. We scored 2 set piece goals to get the win at St James's Park, and we scored a set piece goal to win at Craven Cottage. Yeah. Like, it's fantastic that we're so good at those set piece situations, but you need to create from open play, because there's going to be games where your delivery isn't on point for free kicks or corners. There's going to be games where you're not going to win that many free kicks or corners, depending on the context, depending on how the referee's feeling at the time. So you need to maximize everything. You really need to. And we've maximized set pieces. We haven't even touched our potential in terms of open play, chance creation, and chance conversion. And I feel if we put that right, I see no reason why we can't go on to do it, other than the fact that this manager is a coward when it comes to your Cities and your Liverpools and your Newcastles away to an extent.
I think it's a bit of an odd one, because I think when Arteta first joined Arsenal, he did have a pretty attacking style of play. He was a pretty possession-based coach. He worked with Pep at City. So he did want to play football in the right way. And I think his first couple of years at Arsenal, they actually did play some decent football. And I don't know why, but obviously since, 2 years ago, he's kind of switched from actually trying to play ball to this whole, sitting in, living off set pieces. And, I'm not too sure why that is, to be fair. Maybe the Arsenal lads here will have a bit more perspective on it.
Well, if you remember if you remember the spring of 2023, you'll see why Arteta decided to be more controlled. Jack shaking his head like that. Basically, we conceded a 2-goal lead at Anfield. We bottled a 2-goal lead at Anfield. We bottled a 2-goal lead away at West Ham. We were defensively shambolic away at the Etihad. Got slapped 4-1. Should have been about 8-1. We got slapped by Southampton at home because our defence was so poor. And I know Jacques is not wanting to relive all this, but that's why he was so. That's why he's so controlling and he's so emphatic on defending, because of how we bottled the title in 2023. In case you wanted to know, Prophet.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I remember now. Now that you mentioned it, I do remember when Arsenal did it. Yeah.
We won't talk about it anymore.
Anyone anything more before Arsenal? About Arsenal before you go on? So next.
Win against Atleti tonight. There we go.
Cool. Next we have. Did any of you? Which games did you guys watch over the weekend?
I did watch the Spurs and City game a bit. I mean, I had it on in the background, so I didn't watch it properly watch it, but I had it on, both of them.
Oh, Josh, you were at Brighton, weren't you? Actually.
Yeah.
You were at the game. Go ahead, bro. Just talk about Brighton.
Brighton Newcastle. Very good win for the Albion. I feel if Brighton stopped scoring own goals, then they'd be a lot higher up in the league. They've conceded own goals away at Wolves and at home to Spurs. If those own goals didn't go in, if those mistakes didn't happen, they'd be 4 points better off. And I think they'd be level on points with Man City, 3 points off the top. So it's been a very, very good start for Brighton, culminating in this win against Newcastle. They've only failed to score in one Premier League game this season, I think, and that's because Welbeck missed a penalty against Everton in Everton's first home game at their new stadium. So they're attacking very well at the minute. Voltemade on the other side got his first away goal, which I think was much needed because there was a bit of a narrative developing that he doesn't turn up in away games for some reason. He put that to bed. I think he's been a fantastic replacement for Isak thus far, I should say. But it's silly points dropped from Newcastle when they want to consolidate themselves as a top 4 side, as a Champions League side. And I can't remember who they have. No, they have Benfica in the Champions League, so they really could have done with a confidence-boosting result at the Amex, but they got Danny Welbeck. And Danny Welbeck being a former Sunderland player, that's going to hurt the Geordies more than anything. So, fantastic win for Brighton. They keep propping up the table. Newcastle, silly points to drop. I know the Amex is a tough place to go to, but when you're a Champions League side, you've got to expect to win at those type of grounds, even if they are difficult and they have good players. So it's disappointing, and they're going to look to bounce back against Benfica, against Jose Mourinho. Let's see how they respond.
Voltemade scores again. He's been on fire for Newcastle, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been really good, to be fair. I mean, obviously a lot of people had question marks around him. Can he come in and replace Isak? And he's hit the ground running. He's done really well.
Yeah, Jack?
Yeah, just solid win for Brighton. Voltemade, on a great scoring run in all comps thus far. Since he's come in, obviously replaced Isak. And yeah, just solid win for Brighton. Can't realistically complain if you're a Seagulls fan, apart from not keeping clean sheet. But hey, just yeah, that's all I can say.
Starting to believe Eddie Howe made Isak look good. Voltemade wasn't this good this season. Yeah, I mean, it could be his system, to be fair. I mean, you're getting the best out of your strikers. Now it's time to get the best out of Wissa when he's fully fit. You know what I mean? Because Newcastle, that could be very, very dangerous with Wissa and Voltemade together. It could be very, very dangerous. So yeah, we shall see what happens there. Prophet, you said you watched the City Everton game, didn't you? And you watched what other game did you watch?
Spurs Villa.
Spurs Villa as well.
Yeah. take it away, bro. City 2-0.
I think again it was a routine City win. I mean, Everton came to Anfield a couple of weeks ago, gave us a pretty good game. We went life and death with them pretty much. They rolled over a lot easier against City than they did against us, which is not surprising. But yeah, it was a routine City win. Routine City win to be fair. And again, I agree with Josh here. I do think City will win this league. I feel they're being slept on, incredibly swept on. Press is obviously on Liverpool. It's crazy. Press is obviously on Liverpool. Of Arsenal as well being talked up, but City are kind of just going under the radar. We're just doing their thing, and I think that's incredibly good for them because press is on Arsenal. Arsenal do slip up. I think City are right behind them. I think it's a point or something between City
3
and Arsenal.
points.
3 points, yeah. So if Arsenal do slip up, City are right there. I think again, them going untalked about is good for them. I feel Pep's reinvented himself as well this year. I don't see a City team that are crazy possession based. They don't revolve around the football. They're a lot more defensive. They can park the bus now. They can be a bit more pragmatic, like we saw against Arsenal. So I think that is something that could really help in the business end of the season. If they need to be like that again, they can be. But yeah, I think they're being. I think it's incredibly crazy how much people are sleeping on Manchester City. This is Pep Guardiola, who has won 4 in a row, best manager in the league, arguably the world, arguably all time. I think it's just mad that they're being slept on as much as they are. So yeah, I think City win the league, and again, it was a routine win for them, and I think they're dark horses at the moment.
Thank you, Prophet. But I 110% agree with you there. I cannot get my head around why so many people were so dismissive of City. What are you doing? They have been the most dominant team in England over the past decade. Yeah. They've won 6 league titles under this manager within 8 years. 8 years. 8 years. And people are sleeping on him because he had his worst season last season, which still ended in a 3rd place finish in an FA Cup final.
Maybe it's because
Seriously, what's going on?
Maybe it's because they're rebuilding. You know what I'm trying to say? They've built. They have a new squad. It's not really like a squad that's really gel, but obviously you have Haaland bagging the goals. Then maybe that's why.
Yeah, I understand. It's obvious that Pep is leaning, as Prophet touched on, he's leaning into a more pragmatic style of play. I think he's gone away from a more build up from the back goalkeeper and gone with Donnarumma instead to prioritise clean sheets over build up play. I think it's fascinating that Pep has decided to go so defensive after we've seen what he's done at City, Bayern and Barca. And I understand that it can be classed as a transition year for Man City. But Pep Guardiola does not need transition years. Seriously, he doesn't. To implement his style of play. This is the greatest manager in football history, and people have slept on him. Are you mad? That is
crazy.
Yeah, I understand why. But how, like, it's... I don't want to say, like, it's self-harm in a way. Like, thinking that you write off Manchester City, you're only harming yourself because they're going to be back with a vengeance and you're not going to be ready for it. And I guarantee you, come February, March time, we're going to be like, oh, Premier League's a Farmers League, is City on top again. I guarantee it. It's going to be the same old narrative and 115 charges are going to come up. That's never going to get resolved. City's lawyers are going to play that out until it gets disbanded. And at the end of the day, the way they've become successful is unethical, of course, but at the end of the day, isn't that how we want all our clubs to operate? With that winning mentality, with Pep Guardiola in charge, with all that success and glory, obviously.
This is actually a good point here, in my opinion, because actually it is kind of true. If Haaland does get injured,
they've got Marmoush.
Is his backup really going to bag as many goals as Haaland? Because Haaland's been the most consistent player for Man City this season.
Akerin, they've literally won 2 Premier League titles without a centre forward.
No, true. But at the same time, now Arsenal have a proper centre forward. You guys are more consistent now in terms of like results. So you know what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Right. I don't know about City at the season. I'll be honest with you. I know you guys are saying, oh, City aren't being slept on, but like, does
anyone think this?
I'm more thinking that if Haaland gets injured, what is City gonna do?
No, Omar Mamouche is more than a suitable replacement. He's not going to bag as many goals, but
seen it last year. To be fair, when Haaland was out, City were hardly scoring enough goals. They had to rely on like a lucky like Nunes goal or something like that to win the game last season. Because when Haaland's there, he's bagging the goals. Let's be real. He's getting the goals. He's gonna get the goals.
Jack, I really want to hear what you want to say.
Yeah. Go on. I know Jack has a lot to say after all that. Go on, bro.
I firmly agree with what Prophet and Josh are saying. I'm sorry, if Haaland gets injured, City is still going to be in like second, third gear. I'm sorry, what are we talking about? Oh, if Haaland gets injured, what the fuck? What the fuck? No. I'm not. I'm sorry. I understand where you're coming from. But if Haaland gets injured, realistically, you're going to have Marmoush up front. You're going to have Cherki coming in. If Cherki is on a good run of form, who's essentially almost, I don't want to say a De Bruyne replacement, but he's been brought in for a solid amount of money, like 20, 30 million, on a cut price deal from Lyon because, well, they look like they're going to be relegated to Ligue 2. But hey, that decision was reversed. Haaland's not the only threat. You look at Doku, look at Marmoush. You got O'Reilly on the left flank at fullback. You got Mateus Nunes, who isn't an out-and-out fullback, but he's more so like number 8 for, well, when he was at Wolves and when he's playing for Portugal. I don't think he plays at fullback. I think that's more so Joao Cancelo. But
amazing though.
But like he's been solid. He's been solid. Like I know that realistically, as I can't remember who termed it as a transition year. This isn't a transition year for City. The transition year was last season. That was their transition year, and like I know we could be waxing lyrical about City, and I don't know, they could either win a league, they could finish second. Who knows? Same with Liverpool. Like we don't know how the league's going to pan out. There's another 30 match days until the end of the season. Like realistically, just take it game by game. That's the way I see it in terms of like we can't just judge a book by its cover when we're less than a quarter of the way through the season.
Yeah, we're only 21% of the way through.
Yeah, and like let's be real. City, a class outfit. There's a reason why they've won the league so many times since Pepper's come in. There's a reason why they've done that. And Jesus Christ, if they win the league again this season, like fair play to them. Because Pep's just that guy. And his system outclasses everyone in the league realistically. I'm sorry. Like they done well this summer.
I guess I'm gonna tell you I told you so. We'll see what
We'll see. Yeah.
he's been
we'll see. Watch your space.
Does anyone feel this could be Pep's last season at City?
I fucking hope so.
Hopefully.
I think it depends on if he wins the title personally or not.
I think it is his last season, to be fair, because he's talked about wanting to go back to Spain a few times already, isn't it? He's talked about wanting to go back with his family because he had an issue with his wife. I think they divorced and now I think they're back together. I think so. Yeah. Then again, there's issue with that. I think he might want to move back to Spain. He said he wants to retire after Man City as well, didn't he? He said he wanted to retire. I don't know how true that is, but I was hearing something that he wanted to retire after Man City. He said Man City is his last club. He might go international football after this, and then that's it.
It'd be interesting if Klopp took the Germany job and Pep took the Spain job. I think if they
he'll never manage Spain. It's because of the.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Because of the Catalonia thing, remember?
Oh, okay.
I think Pep's from he's from Catalonia.
Oh, okay.
So that's why Pep will probably not manage Spain. Pep will probably want to manage like Brazil or something when Ancelotti leaves or something like that. Maybe like a Brazil or maybe like something like that. I don't think he'll go manage. I don't think he'll manage Spain, to be honest with you. But yeah. No, I'm not saying about that. I'm just saying. Now saying they're bad and they can't win. They just haven't clicked properly yet. They haven't clicked enough to win games with Haaland, not just not without.
Listen.
When I look at City, to be fair, Haaland's like got at least like 85% of their goals.
Lads, Do you remember their start to the season in 2020? They conceded 5 at home to Leicester. They were lucky not to lose to a newly promoted Leeds side away. Drew at home to Liverpool, and lost away to Spurs. I think after a 1-1 draw with West Brom in December, they were about 8 points away from Liverpool at the top, and they ended up storming the league.
But do you remember City, Alan, Rodri last season? What happened to them though? Rodri.
I think the Haaland thing's being crazily overplayed. To be fair,
with
I'm being honest.
With Pep's increased, with his adaptation to a more defensive style, I think that's in the case that Rodri does get injured again, because he's getting recurring niggles after this ACL. And I don't think Rodri will be anywhere near as much of a big miss as he was last season, because Pep, he refused to adapt last season, and he got slapped in the face throughout those winter months. He's not going to allow that to happen again, and that won't happen again, even if Rodri's not playing. I don't think City are as reliant on Rodri now as they were, and I think that's due to I think that's as a result of the defensive, pragmatic style that Pep's implementing this season.
I think people get carried away too easily. To be fair, I think after City lost, they lost 2 games on the bounce. Obviously, before the first international break, they lost at home to Spurs, away to Brighton. I think people were very quick to write City off, saying, "No, it's done, Pep's done," etc. And I think again, people did it with Liverpool as well. When Arsenal drew against City, we were 5 clear. I think a lot of people were saying that the league's done, etc. That's it's a wrap. And obviously, a couple of weeks later, very different scenario. Arsenal are now top. We're now 4 points behind them. So I think people jumped the gun way too soon. And I think with City, that's what people did.
Yeah. It's like people don't learn from their mistakes with Manchester City. How many times have we heard, City haven't started well? I think of 2020, as I previously mentioned, 2021 when they lost at home, when they lost away to Spurs, first game of the season. I think they were quite slow off the blocks in their treble-winning season. I mean, Arsenal were 8 points clear at one point. I mean, write them off at your own peril. That's what I say. Like, you've been handed a reality check enough times to realise that you should never ever write Pep Guardiola off. And it would not surprise me come May 2026 when the ribbons on the Premier League trophy are blue again. Would not surprise me.
Yeah, normal service resumed.
Cannot wait.
Result. Ooh, I don't know about that, but we shall see. Next time, maybe they might, but I don't think that'll happen. But anyways, Prophet, you said you watched Spurs Villa as well, didn't you? Take it away, bro.
Again, this was an interesting game too, because I went into the game. I thought Spurs would win, I'll be totally honest. But then again, I did think it could be a banana skin game for them as well, because I believe obviously they beat Villa last season 4-1 at home, and they weren't particularly great. Year before that, they lost 2-1 to Villa at home. So I thought it could be. I did think Spurs would win, but at the same time, I thought it could be a draw. It could go either way. And to be fair, I think Tottenham played pretty well. They went 1-0 up. Obviously, Villa equalised the game pretty quickly. I don't think Villa have had a great start to the season either. I know they've won their last 2, but I think they started off really, really bad. Obviously, Spurs have had a pretty good start to the season. Honestly, I don't know how Spurs didn't win the game. They had a lot of chances in the first half. They had a lot of chances in the second half too. I think Villa kind of remained defensive a bit. And to be fair, the Villa goal was a pretty lucky goal. It was a wonder goal, to be fair. A decent goal as well. I can't remember who scored now off the top of my head, but it was a good goal. Came late in the game as well.
Buendia,
that's it, yeah. Came late in the game, so I think once Villa went 2-1 up, I didn't see Spurs coming back from that, to be fair. Villa just kind of sorted out. And if I'm a Spurs fan, I'm looking at the game thinking how we didn't win the game. The chances we had, they should have won the game. But then again, at the same time, I thought Villa could always be a banana skin for them. And the goal was class. It was, but it did come out of nowhere, to be fair. I'm not saying it was a lucky goal in that sense. It was a great goal, but it was it did come out of nowhere. So yeah, it was a 2-1 win to Villa. If I'm a Spurs fan, I'm disappointed, but then I'm also not disappointed because this is what Tottenham do, isn't it? Usually, they always start seasons off well. I think 2 years ago under Ange, unbeaten, I think, up until they played Chelsea in, was it November, and they lost 4-1. Then they just spiraled. Conte as well, Mourinho. They always seem to start seasons well under a new manager, and then they always seem to fall away afterwards. And I don't know if it's the start of Spurs falling away now, but it does seem like they are kind of dropping further and further down the table, because I think were they third before the game started, and they now dropped down to sixth. So again, I think it's just Spurs being Spurs again, starting well and then falling off a bit.
Spurs? Isn't it typical Spurs? Like they always have a good start to the season. They beat Man City to start, and then they go on a run, and then they go lose one game, then they go lose a few.
I don't understand how they can go away to the Etihad, get a 2-0 win, good performance, and then they can.
Don't forget. Sorry,
and then they can. The week after beating City away, you lose to Bournemouth at home. Literally, it's just such a. They're a strange club, Tottenham. They're a very strange club. So, yeah.
I said it yesterday. Listen, everyone talks about Spurs and their great start to the season, but this happens every single season. Mourinho in 2020, Spurs were on a title charge. They were top of the league. 2021, I believe Nuno, first month in charge, 9 points out of 9, top of the league. 2022, Conte, Spurs' best start to a Premier League season at the time. Season after that, Ange Postecoglou, getting more points than the Invincibles going into November. Like, we've seen this story how many times with Spurs. And I think I predicted Villa to beat them on the preview. Obviously, I've been vindicated in that. Big up to Buendia, former Norwich lad with the goal. But I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I think Villa are on a brilliant run of form at the minute. I feel they've won 5 games in a row now since beating Bologna. Yeah. So they're really starting to get into shape ahead of their European game in midweek, and especially ahead of their home game against Man City next weekend, which I'm desperate they get some points in. So, we'll see how it goes. They're looking like a very solid outfit so far. And Spurs, I mean, it's typical Spurs. I don't want to sound like I'm disrespecting Spurs, but I mean, what else do you expect from Spurs? Like, they're going to have these disappointing results. It's Tottenham Hotspur, isn't it?
I feel I think they lose too many games at home. To be fair, I think it's okay to lose on the road away from home, but I think you've got to be pretty solid at home. And Spurs in a season, I think they lose too much games at home. I think they need to be a lot more. They need to be better at home. You can lose away, cool, but I feel at home it should be a fortress. You should be getting at minimum a point against Villa.
Got anything to say on the game, Jack? No, he doesn't.
I didn't watch the game, to be fair. Any other games? Chelsea. We haven't spoken about Chelsea yet. Chelsea. I think this is the last game we'll talk about, because I am gonna leave in just a bit. I didn't watch any of the game. But Palace Bournemouth 3-3 as well, classic game. I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, I didn't see the rest. Yeah.
Mateta missed a sitter after scoring a hat trick as well.
Got a hat trick. Could have had one more, Josh said, but Burnley beat Leeds 2-0. Good stuff, Burnley. Well done. Send the Leeds scum down. Anyways, any other games? Oh no,
so, I did watch the Chelsea Forest game. I did check that one.
Sunderland Wolves 2-0. Sunderland won. Brentford won 2-0 last night. Did you watch last night's game?
Dominated West Ham.
I didn't watch the game. I know they won though.
Mateta missed it in the 99th minute after smashed over the bar. That match was insane. Scored a penalty 90+7. Ekman Chelsea was so lucky not to be 3-0 at halftime. I won't lie. But anyways, let's talk about Chelsea and we'll close out.
I think again, obviously, Ange sacked. That is the headline breaking news this week on Saturday, after the game. But to be fair to Forest, I think they played really well in the first half. I don't know if anyone else watched the game. They should have probably had a couple of goals in that first half. I think Chelsea, off the back of beating Liverpool, I thought they were pretty poor in that first half. Forest played well, took the game to Chelsea. They should have obviously. I think they should have at least been winning at half time. Second half comes around. I think Chelsea just have a spell. They go 2-0 up inside a couple of minutes. It's game over for Forest. They weren't going to come back from that. Obviously, then they score late again, make it 3-0. It was just, I think Forest played well, but they couldn't put their chances away when they had them. And against Chelsea, it's going to cost you. Obviously, Ange Postecoglou's sacked now. I think we all knew it was going to happen sooner or later. He's only had, 8 games, to be fair. I do probably think I would have given him more time, but I think the way the Forest owner is, that was never going to happen. So, yeah, obviously, Ange sacked after this game. I think Dice is the new manager now, so we'll see what happens with Forest going forward. But,
Yes,
yeah, I think from a Chelsea perspective, obviously, I think it's good because they've built on something here. Beat Liverpool, obviously, before the break. They've gone to, they've beaten Forest now. So they are putting a run together of wins. Benfica as well, they beat Benfica. So since losing to United at Old Trafford and drawing away to Brentford, I think Chelsea have run on a decent run. So I think, yeah, a good win for Chelsea. Forest, poor. What more can we say, really, on it?
Yeah, I agree with Prophet's point there. I mean, realistically, what are you expecting a manager to do in 39 days? Especially when his style of play differentiates and contrasts so starkly to the previous manager. I mean, going from Nuno ball to Ange ball, I mean, that's going to take a lot more than 39 days to implement. So I don't really know what Marinakis was expecting there. And like you say, Sean Dyche is coming now. It'll be similar to Nuno ball. So the players should be more used to that, and I think Forest will be safe now. I think they're 2 points in the 2 points away from safety at the minute. But like Jack said earlier on, less than a quarter of the season has gone. They've got more than enough time to make up the gap, and they will. So, and as Prophet said, and as Twisted Fate said in the chat, Forest actually started quite well. Obviously, I was at the Amex, but for the first half an hour, I caught the game on the concourse, in the concourse. Yeah, Forest had quite a few decent chances. I think Gibbs White scored a few from promising positions. Should have buried that, and then obviously with the quality Chelsea have, they eventually put the game beyond Forest. Reece James with the goal and an assist, absolutely fantastic performance from him. Like Monkey T. Luffy said in chat as well, Archer Pong's first goal. He played well against Palace on the opening day as well, so big up to him. Got a cool first name as well. And I think there's an angle to take with Chelsea's discipline. Because even when they're 3-0 up, they're still getting players sent off. And if it's not players on the pitch, it's the manager on the sidelines. I mean, long may it continue if it means they're dropping points, obviously, as an Arsenal fan. But as a neutral, yeah, it does seem like that could be a growing concern for them. They were down to 10 men after 5 minutes at Old Trafford. No matter how shit Manchester United are or have been, you don't expect to win at Old Trafford with 10 men after 5 minutes. So they really need to stamp out for lack of for the ill discipline in their squad.
Does anyone feel that Chelsea are outsiders for the league, potentially title challenge, or do you think that's a step too far?
Well, I feel
I said
out of
Chelsea
the quote-unquote big 6 clubs, they've got by far the easiest fixture list for the first 19 games, which is why I predicted them to be in and around the title fight come December, January time. But I thought they'd fall off. I don't think they'll win the league. I didn't think they'd win the league at the start of the season, but I thought they would be in a title race come the winter months. They had a really rocky September, as we all know, but they're starting to pick up form again. And they're getting results without the likes of Cole Palmer in the squad and Levi Colwill. And once they come back, they're going to go from strength to strength. And they're going to need those players back for when the winter months get more hectic in terms of scheduling. Yeah, good point, Twisted.
To be fair with you, like at the same time, I still think Chelsea are in the title race. Call me crazy, but I've been saying this since the start. They have a good squad. The only issue is the defense and the keeper, and they sorted it out. Obviously, over the international break, they had players returning from injury. They had a good run of games, 3 wins in a row now for Chelsea, beating Benfica, Liverpool, and beating Forest away. So I can't lie to you. They have a good team, but at the same time, consistency is key. And are Chelsea going to stay consistent all season? I don't know for sure. Like you mentioned here, Cole Palmer has been such a key part for Chelsea's team. Him coming back can possibly change a lot. It can change a lot. So at the same time, like I said, we shall see how Chelsea approach the end of the season. But at the moment, right now, they have to keep up the good form. Who do they play next? I think they play at home, right? Stamford Bridge.
Ajax in the Champions League.
No,
Oh,
not
Everton.
the Premier League. In the Premier League.
I think they play. Let's have a look here. Actually, they play Sunderland at home next Saturday. So
Sunderland at home, they need to win that game.
yeah,
In that game, Cole Palmer is actually beating the heart of the Chelsea team. Actually, be heart of the Chelsea team. Fair enough.
I do feel though that Chelsea should add a bit more experience to their team. I mean, they've got
Yeah, I
pretty young
agree.
squad there.
I
I think
agree.
maybe bring in 1 or 2 experienced players, and yeah, they'd be better off.
Jack, you want anything to the game? I watched much of the game. I just saw a bit of the goals, and yeah, I saw when Chelsea scored 3-0. Reece James, he scored a brace, didn't he? Reece James.
No, a goal and an assist.
No.
Goal and assist. Who scored 2 goals in that game? I remember. Was it Achimpong scored 1?
At Champagne, I can't remember who the other one was. Give me a sec.
It's on the FPL app.
Because a couple of years ago they had Thiago Silva. They don't have that type of experience in a 30-year-old in the squad.
Pedro
to be
Neto.
Pedro
It
Neto.
was at Champagne 49th minute, then Pedro Neto 52nd, and Reece James 84th minute, and then obviously Malagu
Yeah,
still
good
got sent off 3 minutes later. Yeah.
And that final almost lost to Spurs. Yeah, they almost lost to Spurs. Neto. Okay. Sorry, Jack. Continue, bro. I will go.
I'll just be honest. Just like, I mean, I didn't watch it. I was out at the time during a match. But a standard 3-0 win. I mean, it's just CVR, mate. It's just CVR. Like, I'll just be honest. And when you're relying on flipping Angelos Postecoglou ball, yes, I'm using his government name.
Why didn't they trust the process? I thought it was tough negative not to trust the process. No.
That's an Arsenal thing, that is, isn't it? Trusting processes.
It's a process that flipping Palace trusted when they had Frank de Boer in 17-18, and then they got rid of him after they didn't score in their 7 opening league matches, and they conceded, I can't remember how many it was, like 10 it might have been, and then they brought in Roy Hodgson. So if we're quote unquote like trusting processes and that, and you're not performing well over that sort of stretch of games, like there's a reason why Postecoglou was sacked. There's a reason why he was sacked, clearly, because he wasn't performing, and other results are exemplified. The 3-2 loss against SC Midtjylland in Europa League. Like, it's a competition he shouldn't even be in. Like, okay, yeah, because Palace didn't hand in some paperwork by the 1st of March. Who gives 2 fucks? You seriously think Palace? And I'm sorry that we keep going on about this, but Palace against SC Midtjylland, that would have been a solid game. But like, Forest have been absolutely stinky thus far this season. Like, obviously they got rid of Nuno for the quote unquote disagreement he has with flipping Angelos Jabvahat Marinakis. Yes, I'm going there. He's a fucking knobhead. Why did he get rid of Nuno? I will never understand, because he got them into Europe for the first time in like 30 odd years. And then he gets rid of him because there's disagreement. Like, where are the flipping cojones? But where are the standards? Jesus Christ. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, Forest deserve what's coming for them this season. Due to Marinakis. It's down to him. It's not down to Angie. It's not down to Nuno. It's not down to Sean Dyche. And also just want to pivot the focus onto the flipping Brentford West Ham match now, because like that's a solid result for Brentford. They are, as we were saying, looking like favourites to get relegated. I mean, they let Thomas Frank go to Spurs. He got rid of Mbeumo to Manchester United. They didn't look that strong. I mean, Igor Thiago was coming off the back of an ACL injury. And look at him now. Look at him now. He's the third highest goal scorer this season in the Premier League, behind Semenyo and Haaland. I think he's got 5 goals in the league now. And we're
Linked
looking
to
at
Liverpool as well,
Brentford.
pretty heavily.
So what did you say, Prophet?
He's been linked with Liverpool as well, pretty heavily.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't join. May he continue doing well for Brentford. Like Brentford have been a class outfit this season, and West Ham is, I don't want to say same old, but this is a match which they should be getting 3 points in, and yeah, you're not wrong, Ran. You're not wrong, Ran. He's putting all his stocks into flipping Olympiacos instead of Nottingham Forest multi-club ownership and that. Hey, if you know, you know. Anyway, regardless, about like Brentford and whatnot and West Ham, like West Ham should be getting 3 points out of that sort of match. I don't want to say it's a relegation 6 point out at this point of the season because it's not. Like West Ham, they're sort of mid-table. Brentford sort of mid-table or lower half of the league. Like it's a London derby. District line derby, if you will, as well. If you know, you know. But like, yeah, it's a good win for Brentford. More praise should be leveled at Keith Andrews if he keeps up this sort of performances. Set piece coaching, he's doing this sort of stuff. Like credit where credit's due to him, and it's also good to see an Irish manager doing well in the Prem for once. Since the first time, I think, since like Roy Keane was, it's the first time like an Irish manager has managed for like a Premier League team since I think like Roy Keane when he was at Sunderland back in the early 2000s. So hey, long may it continue. Long may it continue for Brentford.
Yeah. I think in regards to Brentford, like Akavin said earlier, I think I expected them to get relegated as well. To be fair, I thought losing Thomas Frank was going to be huge for them. I always felt personally that he had them performing way above where their actual level was. But honestly, that new manager has really surprised me. He's done pretty well. Obviously, they beat United a couple of weeks ago. It looked very good. They've had some decent results and they look good. I've got to be totally honest. They don't look like they're in danger of relegation or nothing. In regards to West Ham, I think it's a strange one with West Ham because I've always felt like they've got a decent squad there, and I don't think they should be nowhere near where they are in the table. I do think they should be in the top half, but I think I'll go back to a couple of years ago. I think West Ham made a big mistake when they let David Moyes go. I think they would have been better off keeping David Moyes. I mean, the football wasn't great, but they were still up there challenging for Europe. They won a Conference League. I think, obviously, the West Ham fans got a little bit too big for their boots, got rid of him, and it's been downward since there. I think they had Lopetegui, who didn't work out. Obviously, Graham Potter hasn't worked out. I think Nuno's in there now. I do think Nuno will keep them up. I think he'll get them well organised. He'll get them well drilled. He will keep them up in the Prem, but at the moment, it's not looking great. It is going to probably take a bit of time. But again, like I just said there, I think they would have been better off keeping David Moyes. I think they would have been a lot better off. And, you know, the fans wanted a change, and this is what you get with the change. They're now further down than they were back then.
Fair enough, guys. Anything you want to add before we close up? Oh, FPL, real quick. How was your FPL this week? How did you mind doing FPL this week before we go?
I managed to hit 80 points. So that was good. I put Twanzebe in my back line because Grealish was ineligible to play against City. And he bagged me 8 points, so I'm very proud of that selection. My midfield was stinky, but Haaland's captain, 26 points. Voltamade, 8 points. Gabriel with 12 points. I think he got an assist as well for Trossard's goal against Fulham. Timber with 8 points. And who's the other one? Cucurella with 8 points as well. All of them kept clean sheets. It was perfect.
I took him out, bro, because I had to bring in Semenyo. I brought Semenyo and Steve, bro. Steve got me 8 points.
Everyone's falling apart.
I'm still top of the league.
I know.
Josh is still 5'4", so shut up.
Steve got me
exactly
8 points, and Van de Ven got me no points. I should have played as Steve, man. He would have got me 8 extra points. Would have given me 69 points. which would have got further ahead of the table. You know what I mean? Yeah. Person in the league, but I needed to do something. I would have built a gap.
I
need to
agree
bring
with that comment there, Bo, by the way, from Randerman. The
Oh,
Spirit
this
of Santo one. Yeah, I
Go
agree
on,
with that
man.
100%. I think West Ham fans, I don't have nothing against them personally, but I think they're incredibly ungrateful. And again, like you said, it's one of them where their fans are really impatient. So if he does have a couple of bad results, I'd imagine they'd be acting the same as they were under Potter, Moyes, etc. So yeah.
Fair enough. John FPL.
I hate FPL. I hate FPL so much. I hate it so much.
Yeah,
Oh my days!
Gabriel got me.
I had an absolute stinker.
Way for Semenyo
Nico
for Salah.
Williams is an absolute fucking twat. He
Rangers.
him, Kirkes. Honestly, it's time to drop a truth nuke on them so they can actually get into form, man. Jesus Christ.
The best decision I've done all week was to play Kelleher instead of Sells. I got Kelleher and got me 6 points last night. Brentford. Kelleher got me 6 points last night.
I transferred Sells out after Andrew was appointed Forest manager because I knew they wouldn't be keeping any clean sheets.
That's fair. So yeah, great. Kudos to Rangers 1, Haaland 26, obviously captain, and João Pedro 2. I'm taking João Pedro out, and I think you know who I'm gonna bring in now. So yeah, I'm gonna try and remove him.
Yeah. Just want to also point out the Vince company signed a new contract with Bayern Munich up until 2029, and I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but in the Svenskan, I can't remember how you pronounce it. I don't speak Swedish, but in the Swedish league, SC Malby have won the league. They're like a tiny sort of like village club in a really remote part of Sweden. They're like several hours away from like Stockholm and the major sort of cities. So yeah, big ups to Malby. Yeah.
Fair enough.
And also Malmo have had a stinker in the league this season. I think they finished like 5th or 6th when they won the league last season as well. So yeah.
Josh, FPL, how'd you do? And who's your standout?
Well, I mentioned earlier about my defence. Let me go on to it. Nick Pope only backed me 2 points. Obviously, he conceded twice at VMX. Gabriel with 12 points, clean sheet, and an assist. Cucurella with 8 points, clean sheet. Timber with 6 points, clean sheet. Twanzebe with 8 points, clean sheet. I think with defensive contributions, Cucurella and Twanzebe got 2 extra points as well. My midfield was absolutely stinky. Salah, vice captain, 2 points, which pushed me up to the magical 80. But Rangers with only 1 point. Pep Guardiola took him off after 58 minutes, which was incredibly annoying. Sarr only got 2 points, who I transferred in. Xhaka only got 5 points. Captain Haaland with 26 and Voltemade with 8. So, listen, my defence and Haaland's captain carries with Voltemade along the way. My midfield was pedestrian this week alongside my goalkeeper. But listen, I think that might be the highest amount of points I've ever accumulated in my FPL career. So, it was a historic week for me. And thank you, Twanzebe, for being gooted. Because I was about to put Guyu in. Because I thought he might make the difference off the bench against Forest, but I stuck with Twanzebe. I think he started his first game against Aston Villa before the international break. So I hoped that Scott Parker would start him again, and he did. So, big up to him. Hey, Twisted, come on now. Manchester United at Anfield, typically
I think a lot of people would have expected Salah to have a pretty big weekend against United, since he always does, but yeah, didn't happen.
Mainu's not gonna get.
I'm selling Salah, by the way.
But yeah, I think I might do.
I'm sorry. Well. Manchester United was his last chance, and he did fuck all. I only remember him doing one thing. Didn't he volley an easy he should have got the shot on target. He somehow drags it
nearly
past
over,
the
yeah.
near post.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
I remember that shot, man. I missed that by a lot. He missed that by a lot. He was right in front of goal. He scuffed that so bad. I was so relieved. I was really. I was like, what is Salah doing? And then Gakpo obviously missed a header in front of goal as well. I'm like, we wrote our luck, but at the same time we deserved it as well. But listen, anyways, it's been a good show. I am gonna close it out here though. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to Liverpool Prophet. Link is in the description of the video. Let them know you're coming up, bro. And thanks for coming.
Yeah, big up, bro. Appreciate it. So I've got the Frankfurt preview coming up today, so I'm gonna be dropping that after this stream. So I'll be doing my I'll be giving my predicted team to face off against Frankfurt. I'll give you guys my score prediction, how I feel the game will go. So yeah, that's coming up. I'll be recording that after this, so stay tuned for that, people.
Cool. Josh and Jack, appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you guys on the Premier League preview show Friday.
Friday, yeah, it should be good for that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Why not?
Yeah, I'll hop in on that one as well, then, bro.
I think there's a game on Friday.
Good.
I think there's a game on Friday.
Yes, West Ham. West Ham playing on Friday as well, which is quite funny. I think they're playing Leeds
Okay.
away. Yeah, so we might have to do it before 8 o'clock UK time.
So they played on because we have to do before FPL deadline. So we'll do FPL segment first, and then we'll do we'll do preview and prediction.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys tonight. I'll be back in just about 4 hours for the NBA season preview. So I'll see you
Twisted,
guys.
come on.
I'll see you guys later. Take care, people. We are out. Like, share, subscribe. Come on, United. Let's go. Peace. Take care.